Let's see how to use Tailwind CSS in a vanilla TypeScript or JavaScript project using Vite. So the first thing we need to do is go to tailwindcss.com, just like this. And from here, I'm going to choose from the top menu Docs to open the documentation. We can see that here we have several options, and the one we want is of course the first one using Vite. So the first thing we need to start with is to create the project, and I'm going to copy this line which will create the new project. As you can see, the name they chose for the project is my project. This works fine for me. Of course, you can change it if you want a different name for your project. So let me open my terminal and let's copy this line and let's create the project which will be called my project. Now, as I said, I'm not going to choose a framework, so I am going to choose here vanilla. Now, for this demonstration, I'm going to go with JavaScript, but it works exactly the same way if you want a TypeScript project. So choose your option and hit enter. And let's install with npm and start now. Okay, and our project was created. We can now see it in the browser. So let's copy this link and paste it here. And the project is working. I'm now going to stop my development server. And let's open the folder for the new My Project project. And here it is. So let me choose my project and select folder. And let's go back to the Tailwind documentation. So the next step is to install Tailwind CSS and Tailwind CSS Vite. So I'm going to copy this command. And once again, I'm going to open my terminal. And if we now open our package.json file, we can see under our dependencies both of the new packages, Tailwind CSS and Tailwind CSS Vite. Next, we need to configure the Vite plugin. So this is something we need to do in the vite.config.ts file. But since this is a JavaScript folder, I'm going to change it to vite.config.js. So let's create this file. And I'm going to create it in the root of my folder. And let's call it vite.config.js. And again, if you are working on a TypeScript project, then the extension needs to be TS. But for me, this is a JavaScript project, so the extension will be JS. And let's copy the code from here. So let's save this file and close it. Next, we need to import Tailwind CSS. This is something we need to do from our CSS file. So if we open our source folder, here we have our main.js file, and this file imports style.css. So we need to open this file, we need to open style.css, and I'm going to delete all of the default CSS styling that we have here. So let's remove everything. And the only thing I want here is this line. So let's copy it from here and paste it. And let's save this file. And now we can start our development server again. So let's do it with this command, npm run dev, and let's run this. And let's open the website in the browser again. And as you can see, at the moment, we don't have any styling at all. But we can now go to main.js. And here for this h1 element, I'm going to add a class. And let's use some Tailwind classes here. And if I now save my file, I can see the new Tailwind styling applied immediately.